think lots of people have ideas throughout their lives and they don't act on them. And they might be the best idea, they could have the best business thought, but it never turns into anything. Take the context away from that formal interview, because some people are really good at interviews, and equally some people are really bad at interviews. But actually, just because someone's bad at an interview doesn't actually mean they'll be bad. Some people in the room go, I don't get it. Okay, well they're probably not for you. You know, that's okay, because they don't get your story. Not everyone's going to get your story. You don't all read your book and love it, but really commit to yourself and understand what's working and what's not working, and change, pivot.
We are very happy to welcome two special guests to you today. Mr. Paul Wreaves, he's my dear professor, mentor, teacher, lifetime mentor. He's a business coach. He's the director of Hive Thinking. We have also a very special guest here, is Indi. And hello, Indi, say hello to the audience.
Yes, hello Indi. Come up here. See Indi's face there. There you go, there's Indi.
Yeah. And Paul, you want to say hello to our audience?
Yeah,
today?
hi everyone. Good to meet you all virtually, and looking forward to this podcast show. Really interested to talk to you today.
Yeah,
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. So today's podcast, we would try to reflect the journey so far. I've been so far with Waggin'Greens,
Yep.
and you also been in that. You observe the big milestone that you're going through,
Yep.
and so we want to hear your perspective and your insights, like a reflection, so I can do better for the team and Waggin'Greens in the future.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. And Indi is the most beautiful, gorgeous girl of the show today, Indi. And actually, to lobby Indi, I make something special for her. That's the organic treat made with love by the director, CEO of Waggin'Greens. Okay.
You can have them later. You can have them later.
So let's begin, Paul. So far, what impressed you the most, and during the journey of Waggin'Greens?
Well, I've known you since September 2022 would it be? September 22? 22, yeah. And I mean, you've always been incredibly hardworking and resilient and willing to just put maximum effort in. And I think that's a great trait for any future wannabe entrepreneur or startup. Just have that energy and that drive to take that vision and make it happen. Be willing to take some knocks on the road and just keep going. And I think you're a great example for that, and a great role model for other people wanting to do it.
That's so sweet to hear, Paul.
Sit yourself down, Indi. Come on, you can have a treat as well. You can have a treat as well. There you go. There you go.
Thank you so much for your sweet compliment. Made my day. Thank you, Paul. And Paul, actually, I did learn a lot from you, Paul. And what keep me going is that you're saying like one small step at a time, and the courage to take action and do something, and then it will lead you to your goal.
Yeah, I'm a massive believer in that. I think lots of people have ideas throughout their lives and they don't act on them. And they might be the best idea, they could have the best business thought, but it never turns into anything. So ideas without action are just things in the ether, aren't they? So for me, it's all about coming up with good ideas, getting visions for yourself, where you want to be, goals, targets, and then understanding what you need to do to make it happen. And that's about taking action, but sensible, practical action, but take action. And that's when you start to achieve your goals, and you start taking action. So no, get good visions, good goals, good targets, and then actually start moving towards them.
Thank you for this insight. It's just keep going. And I'm a very I used to be a very quiet person on social media, but you are the one who always push us like, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you set up your Instagram? Have you got followers? And things like that. And I'm just into the game now. And
well, I think, and that's what you've got to be. I think that's a nice word to use, into the game.
Yeah.
Because life's a bit of a game at times, isn't it? And we've got to play it.
Yeah.
And you've got to play it smart. You've got to play it well. And you've got to play it hard. And that's what it's all about, to succeed. If you take the sports analogy, good teams do a lot of work behind the scenes to go and perform on the day, but they're constantly working hard, moving their performance forward as teams. And that's what you've got to do as a business owner, I think. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks to that advice, now you know, like we've got around 7,000 followers.
Oh wow,
on
okay.
Instagram
Well,
now.
hi all 7,000 of you.
You know, another thing that I learned from you that I really admire you is like one of a kind. That is your tolerance and your being open and embrace the diversity and embrace the differences of others, and that's why I think people just love you so much for that. And you're so tolerant.
I'm not sure about that.
I learn a lot from you about that trait.
Well, for me, I think everybody's got something to add, haven't they? And I think if we want everybody to look like us and behave like us, then we're missing a massive trick in life. The art of embracing diversity, people from different backgrounds, different countries, different religions, or whatever, is for me, it just opens up opportunities all the time.
Yeah.
So I think if you shut that off, I don't understand it. Why wouldn't we embrace diversity? But I think on the patient side, is everybody's different as well, and not everyone's going to behave in the same way that you want them to behave. We're all different, and I think we have to understand that. And by just stepping back a little bit and trying to understand people a little bit more and understand where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you're going to like everybody still or get on with everybody. But I think that ability to try and understand people, listen to what people are saying, because sometimes we discount what some people say because they don't conform to our whatever we are, and actually what they're saying is really valuable. And if we can just stop and listen and go, oh, you know what, that's a really good point, I need to take that on board, that's really quite powerful, I think.
Yeah, right. And it keeps a team, you know, like a very powerful team. We need to have differences.
Of course we do. I mean, that's 100%. You know, having a diverse team in your workplace is awesome, because you will just get different ideas, understanding different ways of attracting different clients, different service we can offer, different products we can create, and that's really powerful in a modern business. I think all businesses need to think about this. So if you're starting up a business, you know, have a think about how you're embracing diversity and how you're embracing difference within your team members.
Yeah, thank you. That's insightful. I think I need to learn that a lot from you, Paul. And you know, not only that you've been with me like a great companion on the journey of Waggin'Greens, but you also impact me a lot on personal growth as well. And just your presence, you know, it motivates me to reflect.
That's very kind.
And learn from you know, and grow.
Well, I mean, I think part of the role of, you know, as you know, I run the course up at Nottingham Business School in innovation entrepreneurship, and it's important for me that, you know, we develop the future people who could take this country and world forward in an ethical, sustainable, better way.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if I can do my little bit to inspire some people, that's amazing. What a job to have. How lucky am I? So.
Yeah, you inspire a lot of people, not just a few.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so Paul, we mentioned about team, you know, and I know that communication within team is very core. So now I've been growing the team to 34 people.
Wow,
I mentioned.
fantastic! Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and it's quite a big, you know, challenge to work in a team with that big members. And so, can you advise me to give us some?
Do you want to get down for a second? You get down for a second. You can have another treat. There you go. What advice you on communicating with a broad team across 34 different people, all diverse and around the country, world,
and make them like our vision, your vision, my vision, your vision, our vision.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? And I think and it's especially difficult in a startup situation, because the problem with startups is they pivot and change constantly. So our vision at the start is perhaps not our vision tomorrow, or where we're going. So that creates a challenge with communication. And I think whoever you're communicating, whatever business you're in, communicating full stop is so important. Talk to people, let them know where we are, what we're doing. And I think that's often the problem with businesses, that they don't talk to people enough. But I think around the vision concept of, do your team know where we're going? You know, do they understand what their role is and what you're trying to deliver and how they can help you deliver that? If they don't, you've got a disconnect there. So what we want is our team members to be on board with what we're doing, so to get the big vision. It's about storytelling, you know, tell people stories, get them to understand where we're going, what Waggin'Greens is going to be in 3, 4, 5 years time, get them to buy into that big vision. then they understand what we're trying to do. You know, all that good stuff we've talked about is how are we going to get there, how are we going to deliver it. And if you can get a team on board with that and to get them to go, yeah, I'm in Sharon, I want to get there with you, that's really powerful. And then you've got to keep talking to them. If things are changing, you've got to explain to them why they're changing. So otherwise, well, why are we doing that? That wasn't what you said. And now I'm perhaps a little bit off now. I don't understand why you've changed. But if you talk to me and you explain to me, I've got you. If you listen to me, you know, also listen to your team. So I think that's another part of communication. We think it's all about talking like I'm doing now, but it's also about listening to people. Listen to what your team's saying as well. That's really important. So if your team feel that you're listening and they've got input as well, that's really powerful as well.
Right. Yes, it's true. I totally agree with you on that stand, and you know, like to have people buy in your vision by explaining to them what is happening, like a big goal, what big story behind, not like just a small task that you're doing.
No, that's right. Yeah, that bigger picture. What are we trying to achieve in the big gut scheme of things? And if I buy into that, then some things can happen that I might not like, but I'm still in. Whereas if I don't know what that is, because I know a lot of companies, I don't think people do know where they're going. A lot of directors and owners perhaps don't know, well, it's not quite sure where they're going. And how are you going to take people on that journey with it? And as a startup, it's crucial, isn't it? To get the right people, and that first few years anyway.
I always tell them like, by 2025 it's going to be a unicorn.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see where you go. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We'll see.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Okay, fair enough. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And you know, like another aspect of communication is that we humans, we are with flaws, and leaders also the same. So in certain situation that we make, you know, like a strategy, but it's not really going well or something like that, it weighs a little bit efforts of everybody of the team. So what kind of communication that you should have to bring people back in, regain the trust of the team?
Well, I think if you're communicating and being honest along the route, then people understand that mistakes happen. We are whoever comes into your organisation for Waggin'Greens, you know, they're into the startup culture, aren't they? As long as they know that's what they're getting involved with, and I don't think there's a problem with that. So they'll get involved with that, and they'll expect things to go wrong. And if you're telling them the story as we go along and communicating, then change isn't the problem necessarily. You know, people accept that things don't always go right, but keep talking to them. So look, we tried this, it hasn't worked. What do we think, team? What's going to make this work? And have that conversation, involve them in the next steps. I think it's really important. Obviously, as the CEO, you've got to drive it, haven't you? You know, you've got to be the driving force, and sometimes that might be making decisions, you know, that some people in the team maybe won't like. You know, maybe you have to lose some people. Maybe you go routes that some people just can't get, and you go, you know what, we're going to have to part ways because of that. I know that's tough, but it can happen, and you can accept that, and it is part of business life that you know, not everyone's going to stay on the bus the whole journey. Tough, but true.
Oh, yes. You know, sometimes I've been wondering, like, because for me myself, I'm a tenured person. I think I can be proud to say that. But then sometimes it's like the barrier between the leader and the team, right? Because you need to be kind of, you know, strong, not being like showing that vulnerability and things like that, you know, just to keep people motivated and knowing they're following somebody strong. You know? Yeah. So that's why I'm just reflecting what you just said. And do you have any like further input into
Well, it's so difficult, that, isn't it? Because I think it's good to be vulnerable at times, and people like to see, you know, we're not all you know, we can be vulnerable and we can get things wrong. And to be honest about that, I think is really good in business. However, you're right. I think people do want to see a strong leader who's making the right calls and getting it right. So there is a tension between those two roles, isn't there? And I think, you know, balancing that up is perhaps the art of good management. Maybe the ability to, you know, to be honest with people, be truthful with people, but equally to take people on that journey to lead them as well. Because it's not an easy balance, Sharon. I'm not going to pretend it is, but I think if you can get those two things right, you do quite well.
Thank you, Paul. Yes. Okay. So it just us to make the decision. It's just us to see and reflect within ourselves where to strike the balance right there.
Yeah, I think so, and I like that you use the word reflection there, and I think it's a really powerful word to reflect on what's gone well in your business and what's gone well with your personal development, and understand your own journey, and to be honest with yourself. I didn't do very well there. I think I could have dealt with that situation better. To acknowledge that to yourself, so okay, then I got it wrong. That's fine. You get things wrong. What are you going to do next time to make it better? And I think that becomes a really important question for yourself. Are you willing to accept that you make mistakes? And if you are, how are you going to rectify that next time? And if you're willing to accept that you did and that you need to change, that's really powerful. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insightful advice, valuable advice. Reflection every day. Every day. Actually, I did it every day. Like 5-10 minutes before I sleep. I reflect what I have learned, what kind of situation I need to do better.
I think that's really great thing to do. Get in the habit of good reflection. So I think often, it might be while you're having a shower or when you're going to bed, as you say. But I think sometimes it's good to write it down. Commit these thoughts to paper a little bit. Have a little. It doesn't have to be a daily journal or something, but a weekly journal or something. We just make a note. Because I think by committing stuff to paper or screen, you don't have to write it. Just makes it sink into your head a little bit deeper, and it means your learning journey is more likely to change. I think if you embrace that, that would be my advice.
Thank you, Paul. I often, sometimes I write, sometimes I just too sleepy, then I record it.
Well, that's fine. It's just, as long as you come back to it, that's fine. Whenever. As long as you do it, it's great. Well done.
Yes, can you keep Indi a little bit more?
And we have some more treats for Indi. Poor Indi, starving, aren't you? You're not starving at all.
Right, and another matter that I faced recently is about team management. We having the process of bringing people in, doing the interview, and also experiencing working with them. But sometimes, during the interview, we got a computer science co-founder with me, who asking the technical questions and me doing the behavioral questions. And some candidates, they show really well, like a brilliant start. The communication, empathy, leadership, stuff like that. Just so aligned with what I'm feeling. But then it turned out not like that at all. People say, a lot of cases, people say one thing and it turned out to be another thing. It's like over promise and under deliver. So
that's tough, isn't it?
How can you screen it out, Paul?
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I think recruiting from an interview, a one-off interview, people can come across very well, and they don't always deliver. I don't think there's a magic trick to this. I think you can carry out personality profiles to see if they sort of fit in with those things. You can have a couple of interviews, have that first thing, take people out of an interview situation, go out for lunch with them just to see them in different format, get them to do different things so you understand them a little better, do something that feels like a little bit more social, but is part of the recruitment process. You see them in different contexts because they might behave in slightly different ways. When you're in that interview across the desk from someone for 20-30 minutes, you can put on a bit of a front, can't you? To be fair. I mean, it is possible, if you ask really deep questions to keep asking, which is another thing I'd say, keep asking the same question over and over again, maybe in a slightly different way. Do you get the same answers? If you get the same answers, perhaps someone's being consistent. But take them out of that environment, go and have a meal with them, go and have a lunch with them or whatever. How do they behave in that situation? Are they the same? Are they sociable with other people? If you introduce them around the team, how do they behave with other team members? If you leave them with somebody else, you have your interview, then leave them with someone else. What are they saying to that other person? How did they come into the organisation? Were they cheerful and polite at the front desk as they were when they left with you? Just all these little things. It's worth just having a series of, they're not tests, are they? But I guess it feels like a test, just to make sure that someone is aligned with what you're looking for.
Amazing tip, Paul. While you're sharing that, I just some reflection in my head. Like the current boss that recruiting me, actually, he just gave me an instant call or something like that, to talking about not anything related to the job, and then he just signed me. Just to have that conversation. Do you come across in that conversation as you did in your meeting? That's a good way of doing it. Just take the context away from that
formal interview, because some people are really good at interviews, and equally some people are really bad at interviews. But actually, just because someone's bad at an interview doesn't actually mean they'll be bad. And that's a problem for a lot of people. Actually, they come across quite badly in that first sort of few minutes, but actually when you get to know them, they've got a lot of value to offer. And that's, again, this is about diversity, isn't it? What sort of people do you want to attract into your organisation? What skill sets do you want? Don't miss things because they don't immediately conform to what we think we're looking for, but dig a little bit deeper and you might find some real value and some real gold in there somewhere else, maybe. Worth thinking about.
Right, interesting. Yeah, thank you, Paul, for that. And Paul, so in case that the colleague, the teammate, that they are kind of under delivering what they're doing, what they were committing, so we need to let people go. And
difficult.
Yes, and it's about how can you approach that with empathy, and then also to try to mitigate the risks that they can do to your company, prestige, reputation.
Well, look, letting someone go is never easy, is it? I mean, unfortunately, I've had to do it a few times in my career, and I wouldn't say it's a fun job. If you enjoy it, maybe there's something not right. I don't know, but it's tough. I mean, I think understanding that someone isn't performing, as long as you've been on that journey with them and you communicated that, that if you just pull someone into a meeting and say you have not been performing, you're sacked. There's something wrong there, because they say, well, I didn't know. There should be some ongoing dialogue. If someone isn't performing to a task that you've set them, then they should know that you're doing. So regular reviews of people, knowing you're not getting up, trying to get up on the table again. So regular reviews of people, telling them how they're getting on. I think that's really important, especially in that induction phase. Let people know what they're doing. Then, if they're still not performing, having that final discussion is not a shock, because you've already had numerous conversations like this. So I think that's what I'd say is letting someone go should not be a shock conversation, because we've already had conversations around this. It's never going to be an easy one. And on the empathy side of things, I think you don't have to, sack someone in an aggressive way. The whole, Donald Trump or Alan Sugar in the UK, you're fired and out you go. It's quite cold, and it's become almost like trendy or whatever. But that's not how you get rid of people. You've got some empathy there. I'm sorry this hasn't worked out. This obviously is not the job for you, or whatever reason. We have tried, and I know you've tried. I'm just sorry it's just not going to work this time. I wish you all the best of luck for other future endeavours. There's ways of doing it in an empathetic way without being the big boss about it. That to me has never worked. But we're all different, and we have to do it in the way that works for you, I guess.
Just some reflection back, and I think I did quite well.
Good. Well, that's good. Good job.
I had to talk with the person. Let he share what he thinks, and I would enforce on my point of view, and give him a chance to improve, and take time to think about that. If he agrees or not, if not, then he has to go. So that's what I did.
Well, that's fair enough. And it sounds like you went through that process, and I'm sure you did it in an empathetic way all along. So good job. I'm sure you did.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, Paul. One question about the communication that I forgot to ask you at the So it's about you mentioned about the vision, the big goal for the team. What about the stakeholder, like angel investor? People often say you should begin with some kind of personal story to relate to people, or something
get them on
like
board.
that.
Get them on board.
And I'm going to do some pictures in the future, and maybe in 2025 I registered for Dragon Den.
Oh wow, cool. Okay, brilliant.
Guys, I want some.
Well, I know Stephen Bartlett's a big story. He likes his storytelling, and I think storytelling is a really powerful. A real powerful thing in business. People link into stories. They have an emotional attachment to stories. So if you tell your story about how you got to where you're going and what you're doing and how you're going to impact the world or impact that sector of the business, I think people get that. I think that's attractive to people. I think people buy into that. If you just start talking about your strategy or your money or whatever, it's kind of just the cold side of business. But I think if you can take people on a journey with you, storytelling is fantastic. So tell your story, and your story. You come over to the UK, you've done the course, you've networked, you've met a lot of people, you've learned a lot. You've set this business up, the way you've set that up, what you stand for, what you're about. I think that's all a great story for people to hear. And I think finding that story and sharing it becomes really powerful. So I'd always think about what your story is and how you can put that across in a really positive way.
I often watch them, and I think they speak in the story with some kind of problem, like problem and solution. But the thing is,
no more.
sometimes the story not really related to the problem. For example, my story with the dog, with my dog, my sister Wolfie, she's my inspiration. And how much I love her and things like that, and how much I love dogs. Should we like dig deep into the passion for dogs and things like that?
No, that's right. Well, no, I think so, because I think that's part of the reason you're doing this, and people who identify with that, or the people you want to identify well with, dog lovers will go, they will look back and they'll remember their first dog, and that first dog they fell in love with and, had a great relationship with them. And everyone, I know who my first dog was. If you talk to anybody, they'll know the name of their first pet, and that's a real strong connection. So telling that story automatically brings the room, for those who are interested in that, on your side. There'll be some people in the room who go, I don't get it. Okay, but they're probably not for you. That's okay, because they don't get your story. Not everyone's going to get your story. You don't all read a book and love it. But if I get your story and I engage with it and identify with it, okay, now I'm interested in listening more to you, because I've got a little connection with you before you've even started. And that's quite powerful.
So clear now. I'm so ready for the big tomorrow.
Good stuff. Of course, yeah. Well, bring on the £1,000. Fantastic.
£1,000 first, and
fantastic.
Then more money
well,
come in.
we will see.
As a young entrepreneur as a young entrepreneur maker, because I watching, the War of Roses, and there's a character, she's the mother of Henry VII,
right.
And people called her the Kingmaker.
Oh, the Kingmaker, okay. So as an entrepreneur maker, okay. I like that analogy.
You're the young entrepreneur maker.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that's very nice.
Always push us, yeah. And you have the extensive experience working with the local business, coaching them.
Yeah.
So what the core quality that you observe that would be really helpful for entrepreneurs to be successful in their journey?
I think entrepreneurs or people who start their own business up are quite unique, because they're willing to take a risk, aren't they? They're willing to go out there a little bit and risk, put a bit of themselves on the line. Some people more than others in that journey, but there's always that element of risk, I think, of setting up your own business and relying on yourself to generate money rather than being part of a company that gives you money. So I think you've got to have that element within you in the first place. But I think the traits you need is just that commitment to it, that dedication. As I said to you at the start, I think, lots of people have good ideas, but are you willing to take action to make those ideas come true? Are you willing to really commit? Are you willing to really back yourself and go out there and sell yourself? Because I think when you first start up a business, you have to go out there and, as you're doing, pitch yourself almost, it's very personal, isn't it? You've got to tell your stories and put yourself out there. Are people willing to buy from you? Even if it's not necessarily a pitch, it's selling your goods or whatever, your services. You've got to go out there and put yourself on the line constantly, and that's tough. You've got to be resilient, you've got to be hardworking, dedicated, and I think if you can adopt those traits and go, you know what, I'm going to make this work, have that commitment, have that tenacity to go, we're going to make this work, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to keep doing it, I'm going to make this work, understand where it's not good and where it doesn't work, be strong to that, but really commit to yourself and understand what's working and what's not working, and change, pivot, in entrepreneurial terms, change when you need to change, but really keep that work level really high and be resilient to the knocks. I think resilience is, it's talked about lots more nowadays, isn't it? The art of being resilient, understanding how you can be more resilient. And I think if working in business, especially in your own businesses, there will be ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. And hopefully you get lots of highs in there, but there will be lows, and the ability to bounce back from those become really important, I think. So understanding in yourself what keeps you resilient. Is it health? Is it fitness? Is it eating the right food? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it a social life? Is it going listen to music? Whatever that is, playing music, whatever. Understand what keeps you resilient, and don't let your resilience drop. Whatever makes you happy and whatever keeps you positive, keep doing that as well. And that will probably be outside of the business a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's very much important, that we need to keep the resilience to keep going, right?
100%.
And not being pushed back by the obstacle.
No, because you will get obstacles all the way, and you have to bounce back.
Yes.
And I think you have to be your resilient levels have to be high, so whatever keeps you topped up, what keeps your resilient levels high, keep doing that, or do it. And I think from someone like me, for example, if I don't do certain things, I find my sort of resilience drops a little bit, like exercise or, you know, a social side of things. So, you know, I like going out, meeting friends, I like doing some exercise as well. If I don't do both of those, I do find my sort of energy levels waning, they drop down a little bit. But if I get back on track with that, tops me back up, and I feel far more positive to then tackle what's ahead of me in the workplace. So for me, that's what works, and everybody's different. So, you know, we talk about work-life balance, and that's become a phrase, and I'm not always sure quite what it means, because I think we're all so different. It almost suggests that there's a right and wrong way, and I don't think that's true, because some people love work and that gives them the energy. That's great. If that's what for you, that's fantastic. Others, it isn't. Understand yourself, and whatever, because we're all unique. So if we understand our own resilience and what that means for us, don't leave it alone. Keep looking at it and understanding what's going to make you stronger and better.
Yeah,
and that personal development journey becomes really important.
Yes, totally agree with it, Paul. Recently, I just pay attention very much to my energy.
Right.
So whenever I face a moment of, you know, feeling not really positive, I would just take a step back and talking to myself. Talking to myself, like what I'm feeling now.
Understand it,
why I'm feeling so, and things like that. It's just like just to make myself really aware that it's just like some kind of moment, external factors, not going to be like forever.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So
we just got to get through this bit or whatever, or understand that journey through it. Yeah, 100%.
Right. And also, you know, I before, like a couple of years ago, when I face any difficulty, obstacle, or things not going on my way, I would be like a huge setback. I just like resentful, things like really negative stuff like that, and feel like sad for several days. Very long term being sad. But for now, I get back up very quickly, because I tell myself that if it's something not happening yet, it's just like an opportunity for me to perfect myself. And
no, I think that's it. I think that's right. I think we learn resilience, don't we? I think understanding what makes you more resilient then becomes the key to that, because then you can say, I'm not going to be hit. So someone says no to you in the past, it might be, oh, that's it, well, let's all forget it all, let's not do it. You go, no. One person said no, and you know, the old thing used to be like, another no is closer to the next yes, isn't it? And you know, that's perhaps another way of looking at it. You know, you have to go through no's to get to the yeses. So that's okay.
Yes.
As long as you're learning and growing as we get through that.
You know what is my resilience energy?
What?
Apart from understanding myself, it's about being surrounded by kind people, amazing people like you.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Well, I think that network is really important. You know, who is your network? Do you feed off? Because I think a lot of us do that. You know, I go to a regular networking group myself, which I help run, and you know, that's really good. Just drop into that every week and just get a bit of a top up. Friends network as well, family becomes important as well, and I think understanding that and making time for all those things is important. It's very easy when we're doing business to get obsessed with the business,
that's right.
And then our energy, you know, can drop. But you have to remember, actually, these things help me be better. Let me not stop doing them. If you can link those two elements up, you're actually doing these non-businessy things help me in business. You go, okay, well, why wouldn't I do that then?
You mentioned that, and I just realized that just like a couple of weeks ago, I experienced like some kind of exhaustion because I have been meetings all the time, and then delegation and stuff like that without execution myself. Sometimes I feel not really familiar to that yet, you know. I don't do anything, it's just like that. So I wonder, what is a key task for CEO, founder, things like that? What would be the key? Because
I think it changes on a daily basis, and what should you be doing on a daily basis is going to vary on what's going on in your business at that time. So I don't think I can say you need to spend your time on this. Obviously, spending time on the strategy of the business and where you're going is key, but sometimes you need to go and do the opposite at a startup. There's no doubt about it. Go out selling it, you know, go out market it, whatever that looks like. Go out meeting people.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to wear so many different hats at a startup stage. You've got to wear all the hats, and that's stressful. You know, because you're not always great at everything. So you've got to sometimes do things that you know you're not very good at.
So Paul, I would like to know if you have any advice for the young entrepreneur in the new world now of technology and AI.
Oh well.
People often go like technology, AI stuff and stuff like that. Do you think that is something that people should go on that way?
I think if it's relevant, then yes. I'd always ask what you can do with technology in any business. If you want to start a business around AI, what does that mean? Have you got a business idea that could utilise AI? Okay, that becomes an interesting one. So I think what I'd say in technology is anybody should be thinking about what business they want to get into, and that could be doing dog treats to, solar panels or whatever, sustainability things. But it's about how can I use technology to make that better, or make it more efficient, or make it slicker, make it faster, make it a better product for my customers. How does that add value? And I think the use of technology is always good if it adds value. Technology for technology's sake is no point, because it's not going to add value to an end customer's experience. But if you can add value to it, fantastic. If as I say, if it makes it faster, quicker, cheaper, whatever, great. There's your value. So whatever your business idea is, definitely ask yourself about technology. What technology should I be embracing? What's going on in the world at the moment? Be inquisitive. That's the biggest bit of advice I could give anyone in any business, is be inquisitive. Find out what's going on. If you're not sure about something, if you think, how do I use AI? Go and find out, do some research on it. Sign up to ChatGPT or whatever, have a go with using these sorts of things, and go and talk to some people, go on some lectures, go on some courses, and just sort of embrace it a little bit and understand it. And it might be you go, no, I don't think that's actually going to help me at this point. Fine, at least you know. Or you might go, wow, that's a game changer. I need to do that. And okay, then you've got something to look at.
Yes, right, totally agree with you. And Paul, is actually the most important thing, the key thing here is the values that you want to create, right? And technology is like a mean for us to conduct it.
100%.
It's not like something that we use it like a business thing.
No, that's right. I mean, technology is something to enable you, an enabler, isn't it?
Yes.
And so it helps you do something differently or better or whatever. And that's the way to look at it. Of course, embrace it if it's relevant to you.
Paul, we have bot tech, fintech, different kind of technology, and I will have pet tech.
Pet tech, yeah, Waggin'Greens pet tech, yeah. We'll have dogs with sensors in them and all sorts going on. We'll know where they are, what their heartbeat is, have they eaten, have they not, we'll know everything about them.
And Paul, just I want to inform you one good news as well. Just a couple of days ago, I've been granted 25,000 USD by Microsoft.
Wow.
Yes, in credit to use like Azure is some kind of cloud to store the data of clients.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's brilliant.
And
okay.
also ChatGPT, some kind of package in it to use free as well.
Oh, that's really cool. Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well done, you.
Thank you.
Make sure you use it.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
And Paul, and I just don't know how to express my gratitude to you on a rainy day, bringing Indi with us today, and then sharing very important insights to me, myself, and the audience.
Sharon, my pleasure. It's been lovely being on this journey with you. I say you've worked so hard. I wish you every success. And as I say, Sharon's a great role model to any future entrepreneurs. With that drive and determination. So if you've got some drive and determination, maybe it's for you as well. But no, good luck with everything. I'm sure it'll be a success, and I look forward to hearing more about the journey as you go on. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And Paul, thank you so much. That I know that your life is always really easy, and sometimes you tell me like you're knackered.
yes.
But then you're supporting me like never ever half-hearted. So I can't say enough towards that.
That's very kind, thank you. Just keep doing what you're doing and make it work. That'd be great to see you succeed. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So thank you, audience, for following us to this moment, and we hope you enjoy it, and we can't wait to see you in the next podcast episode. Thank you so much. Indi, say goodbye to the audience.
You're going to say goodbye, Indi? Come say goodbye then.
Say goodbye.
There you go.
Hello, goodbye.
Bye from Indi too.
Bye.